Okay, so let's jump into this video and talk about working with our nitrous control in our AEM Pro software. So when we want to spray nitrous, we need to add some fuel and pull some spark timing. We're going to find that the AEM Pro software is going to allow us to program this in a three-dimensional table for both fuel and ignition. Now we're going to have to program some details in order to turn the nitrous control on and turn it off when we want it to work. We're also going to have to wire in an arming switch into the input and set up an output to control the nitrous solenoid to turn the nitrous spray on or off when we have our conditions that we program. So I'm going to be walking you through all the details you need to know in order to implement nitrous control properly with your AEM Series 1 application. So without further wait, let's jump into the video so we can check this out.
Okay, so let's get started here. We're going to be taking a look at working with our nitrous control in our AEM Pro software. So the very first thing we're going to do, jump up to the top here, we find our nitrous icon. We can click on this. It's going to take us into our nitrous control page here. And we're going to find we have our nitrous fuel table, our nitrous ignition table, our parameters here for taking a look at what the nitrous control is doing, and then we also can find our programming options here. That these are going to be super important in order to turn on and off our nitrous when we want it to control and work. So the first thing we'll find here talking about our nitrous fuel map, if we look at the table, the breakpoints and RPM, these will match whatever our main fuel and spark timing tables are set at. So these are going to be a three-dimensional replica of our table. Now the values in here are going to be a modifier against, in this case for our fuel table, modifying the values from our main fuel table. So we'll find here cell by cell, wherever we're operating at, if we program a value here of 10% at this particular cell point as we're operating in our main fuel table, it will add 10% on top of whatever from that is coming from that table. If we have a value here of -50, it'll half the injector pulse width or take half the fuel value and deliver it to the engine. So normally what we would do here to get things started, we would go here, right click, set value to 0. We don't want to have any modifier just yet. Give this a second to update. Now we also find our nitrous ignition table, and this is going to work in that same idea here as we were just talking about a modifier against our main fuel table. We'll find that the values in here are all set at -45 degrees of spark timing. Let's go ahead and just zero this out so it's a little bit easier to kind of talk about here. We'll find that whatever our main spark timing table is set at, the value, if we're looking at the particular load and RPM point, we can see the cell by cell. If we have a value here of 5 degrees, it'll be adding 5 degrees onto whatever's coming from our main spark timing table. If we have a value of -5 at this particular cell point, we transition through, we'll find that it pulls out 5 degrees ignition timing. So the way these tables work are going to be pretty straightforward. They're going to be